must not forget. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden with that statement about the horrors of October 7th on this Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Just 7.5 months since the October 7th attacks in Israel, President Biden says too many people are forgetting
that Hamas unleashed this terror. It was Hamas that brutalized Israelis. It was Hamas who took and continues to hold hostages.
Speaking at a Holocaust remembrance event, the president condemned a ferocious surge of anti-Semitism in the U.S. and around the world. President Biden also reiterated an ironclad support for Israel, even, he said, when we disagree.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. This as Israeli troops seize control of Gaza's Rafah border crossing in what's being described as a limited operation as ceasefire talks with Hamas continue. Adult film star Stormy Daniels took the stand at former President Trump's hush money trial.
Daniels testified she met Trump at a celebrity golf tournament, then saw him several times after their alleged affair, including at Trump Tower. At the time, Daniels thought Trump could help her career. During cross-examination, Daniels acknowledged she hates Trump and previously posted online she would dance down the street if he went to jail.
Fox's Nate Foy outside the courthouse in New York City. Trump denies having an affair with Daniels. He's charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in connection with payments to Daniels. The judge in former President Trump's classified documents case has canceled the May 20th trial date, postponing it indefinitely. The order had been expected due to still unresolved issues in the case, and because of Trump's hush money trial, the New York case involves many of the same lawyers. In the documents case, Trump's accused of having classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate and then obstructing the FBI's efforts to get them back. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
An accused cop killer appears in court in New York.
34-year-old Guy Rivera pleads not guilty to murdering New York City Police Detective Jonathan Diller in March during a traffic stop for an illegally parked car. Rivera was a passenger. Police say there was an exchange of gunfire with Diller hitting the torso below his bulletproof vest.
They didn't count on our hero police officer, Jonathan Diller, going to that scene and fighting to get that gun away from him. And he fought to the end, even though he was shot.
Police Benevolent Association President Patrick Hendry. Rivera's criminal history includes at least 27 arrests. The woman driving the car pleads not guilty to criminal possession of a weapon. Detective Diller was 31 with a wife and a 1-year-old son. Chris Foster, Fox News.
A jury has awarded a professional tennis player who sued the U.S. Tennis Association $9 million over sexual abuse by a coach. Kylie McKenzie says the USTA failed to protect her from Annabelle Aranda, whom she says sexually abused her at one of his training centers when she was 19. The USTA says it will appeal. You'll soon be able to order from Uber Eats by using the Instacart app.
Uber Technologies and Instacart, which have been rivals, are partnering to bring more customers to Uber Eats and more business to Instacart. Uber will pay a fee to Instacart for every restaurant order. In coming weeks, Instacart will introduce a restaurants tab to its app. It'll let you place an order on Uber Eats without leaving the Instacart app. The companies say they won't share drivers. The leader in restaurant delivery is DoorDash. Instacart tops competitors for grocery delivery.
Fox's Ginny Casola, the commissioner of the WNBA, says the league plans to start full-time charter flights for teams this season. The league hadn't allowed teams to use charter flights except when they had back-to-back games. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
From the Sierra Radio Network Newsroom, I'm Andrea Drake. It's 5:05. Here are your upcoming local and regional news headlines. Jury duty phone scam alert. Susanville police warn of fake warrants and demands for gift card payments. While High Desert State Prison is on lockdown after an inmate fatality, homicide investigation is underway. And Lassen County's Art Council relaunches the Wood and Iron Show, celebrating resilience post-wildfire. And Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive set to celebrate its 30th anniversary. A nationwide call for donations this Saturday. The stories behind these headlines coming up for you at the bottom of the hour. Now to Amanda and Aaron for Live at 5.
Live on the air, your news on the 5.
And you are listening to the 5 on KJDX, KSV, Susanville, Chester, Quincy, and Portola. I'm Aaron. Amanda is out this evening, but we have Haley, her daughter. She's a little mini me, Amanda.
Yeah.
So she's going to be joining us. Haley Contopoulos. I'm sorry.
Contopoulos.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Don't mind me. All right. And tonight we have Regina Martinez. She's from the Plumas County Public Health Agency. And tonight we're going to be discussing their tobacco use reduction program. Actually, we were out there talking, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of fun stuff. So we're going to be doing that. And we're also going to be attempting to qualify some more lucky listeners for our Cabo San Lucas cruise drawing. That's going to be happening on May 31st during the morning's show with Chris and Andrea. And we got to make sure we get more, stuff that box with more Live at 5 listeners than morning. It's a competition thing.
Oh, nice.
So are you good? We got 2 last night. Are you good luck tonight?
I hope so.
Okay. All right. We'll see if we can make that happen. We're also going to have some local news and weather right after this.
Stop for a moment and take a deep breath in. Smell that fresh, crisp air? Spring is here, and we are all ready to spring into action this season. From gardening, spring cleaning, outdoor adventures, and more, the Lake Almanor Clinic in Chester is here for you. Let us help keep you healthy and active this spring. Call us today to make an appointment with one of our primary care providers at 1-833-227-3743. That's 833-CARE-SHD. We also offer specialty care services including orthopedics, general surgery, and more.
Dedicated to their customers, committed to the communities they serve, loyal to their service to you. For over 60 years, that is the Ed Staub & Sons promise. Ed Staub & Sons have been serving Northeast California residents and businesses with diesel, dyed diesel, heating oil, propane, kerosene, bulk fuels, lubricants, and oils. Ed Staub & Sons providing quality products and service in meeting Northeast California energy needs. They offer tankless water heaters and propane-powered appliances too, along with Renai heaters. Visit them at edstaub.com. She's been there for every victory and every failure, lifting you up and doing it with love. Mom's special day is right around the corner, and Millwood Florist knows how to make her day extraordinary. From breathtaking bouquets, jewelry, purses, nursery plants, and delectable homemade truffles, Millwood Florist has your amazing for your amazing mom. Discover the magic that is Millwood. Millwood Florist and Nursery. Online at millwoodfloristandnursery.com.
Ready to escape the humdrum of the routine? Ready for a change of scenery? We have just the answer. A fabulous cruise to Cabo aboard Princess Cruises. We've got your tickets. So what are you waiting for? Register today.
Town and Country Real Estate, Honey Lake Cafe and Deli, Carlson Tire Pros, Payless Building Supply, Red Hot Pizza, Seneca Healthcare, Lumberjacks, Diamond Mountain Casino, and Diamond Mountain Mini Mart.
Keep it here to hear your name announced on the air and then call us to qualify for our next drawing to sunny Cabo. Only from your official vacation station.
Carlson's Tire Pros makes buying tires simpler. They offer a straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes nationwide warranties, expert advice, and a great selection of Michelin tires. No matter what you drive or where you have driven, Michelin has a tire to fit any need. Visit in-store in Susanville or online at carlsonstirepros.com. Tire Pros. Love the drive.
Looking for a career that offers competitive wages and excellent benefits? Sierra Pacific Industries in Quincy is hiring. Entry-level jobs start at $20.89 an hour, and skilled jobs can earn more than $38. We promote from within, and the room for career growth is unlimited. Visit us at 1538 Lee Road in Quincy, or call 530-283-2820. Sierra Pacific Industries is an equal opportunity employer, including those with a disability and veterans.
Hospitals are always there, ready to care. Each year, America's hospitals provide care to all who need it. According to the American Hospital Association, hospitals provide care to 137 million people and employ 6 million. In these unprecedented times, hospitals and health systems exhibit compassion, courage, and commitment to serving patients and communities. We are proud of our Banner Lassa Medical Center and Banner Health Clinic team for their commitment to our community and mission of making healthcare easier so life can be better. Thank you for all you do. Happy Hospital and Nurses Week.
Northeast California weather.
All right, the time right now is 5:10. Time to take a look at your 3-day Northeastern California weather. It is currently 56 degrees outside the Sierra Radio Network studios, about 5 degrees warmer than yesterday. Tonight we're looking at a low right around 31 degrees with some clear skies, and tomorrow we continue in this warming trend that we are loving so much with some sunny skies, a high right around 62 degrees, a low right around 38. It's going to be breezy tomorrow with those gusts having the potential of reaching 25 miles per hour. For Thursday, sunny with a high near 70 and a low right around 44, and again breezy with those gusts having the potential of reaching 30 miles per hour. So it kind of gets you cool, gets you warmed up, but keeps you nice and cool. Friday, we're looking at sunny skies as well with highs in the mid-70s, and those lows are expected to be in the upper 40s. All your weather updates are found on our website or our app, SierraDailyNews.com. In the studio, we have Regina Martinez. Again, she's from the Plumas County Public Health Agency, and she's with the Tobacco Use Reduction Program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for driving all that way.
Oh, it was a beautiful drive.
Isn't it? It's awesome.
Very nice.
Okay. So to start us off, tell us about your program.
Sure. I work for Plumas County Public Health Agency, and we call it TURP, so the acronym for the Tobacco Use Reduction Program. We are a state-funded program through 2 different propositions that passed in the state of California. A portion of sales tax from tobacco sales goes to fund the program, and mainly we are here to support our community. The program funds us trying to do community outreach, educating our population on the dangers of tobacco use. So we do a lot of outreach for our youth. We try to educate our partners in and out of the school, and we also provide services for those who have used tobacco and need assistance in quitting using tobacco. And then in Plumas County, you not only need to have a state tobacco retail license, but you need to have a Plumas County retail license. So we provide services for that also. So there's a lot of different things that we do, and it's a great program, and I enjoy doing it. It's been very rewarding.
Can you tell us more about your involvement with licensing?
Involvement.
Sure. No, you're fine. No, you're
hard to get
fine.
words out sometimes.
No, I get that. Basically what happens is that I'm a business, let's say I was a business owner and I wanted to sell tobacco products. You have to have a California state license, but we have an ordinance here in Plumas County that was passed in 2016 that states that if you're going to be selling tobacco in Plumas County, you have to have a Plumas County license. So there's an application, and we review the application, and as long as there's no problems with your California state license, then we issue you a retail license to sell tobacco in Plumas County.
And we were talking off mic about how kids aren't getting tobacco online or stuff, those kind of avenues. They get it right from the store.
Correct.
Typically, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have the misconception that we do have a vaping epidemic happening right now in our own community and throughout the United States. But a lot of people have the misconception that youth are ordering it online, or perhaps somebody else is purchasing the tobacco products for them. But what's actually happening is our youth are walking into our own downtown, retailers, and they're walking into our smoke shops and our gas stations and our grocery stores. They are asking for a product, and they're being sold. So it's not happening in all of them, so I'm not trying to dish on anyone, but it is happening frequently, and it's a danger because the federal law is that you have to be 21 years old to buy tobacco products, and we have an epidemic happening, and our youth are younger and younger, and they're addicted to tobacco products, and we need help, and we need people to start carding every single person that wants tobacco, or just like we do for alcohol, we don't sell to underage people.
Right.
How well are your high school tobacco-free clubs being received?
Very well.
That's good.
Yeah, it's refreshing. I love our youth. I have a passion for youth. We raised, my husband and I raised 3 children in the Plumas County schools, and when our youngest graduated in 2016, this was not an issue on campus. But when I started with public health about 3 years ago, I heard about situations that were happening on campus, and junior hires and even elementary school students are vaping and using tobacco products. So I called all of our schools, the junior and senior highs in Plumas County, and said, how can I help? Do you need help? Mm-hmm. And everyone was, yes, we need help. Let's partner. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. The students want change. The students know that their peers are addicted. They can't quit vaping. They can't quit chewing. They need more and more help. And one of my main passions about this program is to not label students as being bad because they're vaping or bad because they're chewing. These are students that big tobacco companies have actually targeted with the flavors that were created to lure them in, to make it taste good. And there's a lot of chemicals that are actually in these devices that get them, physically addicted. So I could be at a party or I could be at a friend's house and I try it, and it only takes a couple of times of experimenting and I'm actually physically addicted to this item. So the students want to see more support for their peers that are vaping. There's a great, reception on campuses for the clubs.
And you were saying that it's not just what we consider the bad kids.
Right.
That any child is susceptible.
Correct. I mean, our athletes, our football players, our cheerleaders, our straight A students, our ASB students, our service club students. It is straight across the board. Tobacco does not discriminate. Their targeting, their marketing. It's all of our students that are vulnerable because, one, it's available to them. It's not just being targeted to one certain kind of, age group or, type of student.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you brought some facts with you. Would you like to share them with us?
Sure. These are kind of shocking. Mm-hmm. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a conference on tobacco and cannabis through Stanford University, and there's a program called Parents Against Vaping, PAVE, and I did a training through them, and their data that they shared with us was that over 2.1 million teens are vaping in middle school and high school. More than 1 in 4 youth use e-cigarettes every day, so an e-cigarette is the same thing as a vape. Mm-hmm. And almost 90% of youth are vaping. 90% of our youth that are vaping are using e-cigarettes, the vaping products, and also the flavored tobacco. So if I'm a youth, most likely I've got a cherry vape, or I've got a strawberry, or some, other kind of flavor that's actually drawing me and making it taste good versus tasting like if they had a regular cigarette. And then, again, we talked about it, the misconception that youth are getting it online or having someone older purchase it for them. Mm-hmm. They're actually being able to go into our local tobacco retailers and purchase the tobacco products themselves.
Wow. So have you seen any of the tactics that you are using? Have you seen any positive results?
Yes, I think the main thing that I've seen in the community is that we try to go to the schools. We try to do like back to school nights, have conversations at after school football practices, meeting with teachers and counselors. But when we share with the community what's really happening, then people want to help out. And then what's happened is I've been able to get enough community connection to where parents are calling me directly and asking me to meet with their student one-on-one so I can provide resources for their student to quit vaping. There's something very concerning as a parent that, let's just say you're cleaning their room or, you're doing laundry and something falls out of their jacket or their backpack or in a box that looks like a USB or a highlighter, and then, maybe you're looking at it a little bit more closely and you realize it's a device that, is not a highlighter or isn't a USB, and the parent doesn't know what to do. And a lot of times, I always feel like with the schools, our teachers have a lot on their plate. There's a lot of responsibility. This is one more thing that the schools are dealing with. And in our area, last year we actually had, contact from a couple of parents letting me know that elementary school students were already vaping in the bathrooms. So this is a problem.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you guys do back to school nights. Could you say what that looks like for you guys? Like, do you guys talk at the events or?
Sure. So back to school nights, usually parents are, coming in and out of the gym. They're getting their schedules. They're visiting the different classrooms. We will have a table there with, the public health tablecloth so everybody knows where we're at, and we have our uniforms on or our shirts on. And I just say, hi, I'm Regina Martinez. I'm with public health, and I'm the tobacco use reduction program coordinator. Can I share with you what's happening on campus? And then I kind of just let people know what's happening. And do you know what vapes look like? Sometimes we have like a tray of a mixture of highlighters and USBs, but then we also throw some of the vapes in there, so the parents have to pick what's actually a device for smoking tobacco or what's actually, a highlighter or whatever. And then we try to let them know that it's addicting. A lot of people have the misconception that vaping is better than smoking, when in reality, smoking is the least of the worries compared to vaping, because when you have a vape, you can purchase a 10,000, they call it a puff, so 10,000 puff vape. That's equivalent to 1,000 cigarettes or 50 packs of cigarettes. So one cigarette is like, say, 10 drags. And then if you do the math, so a 10,000 puff vape is equivalent to 1,000 cigarettes. So the average person can go through a 10,000 puff vape in 1 to 2 weeks. So you're getting how many cigarettes equivalent, right? Yeah. And people aren't aware of the statistics like that.
And again, I don't smoke, never have, but I always thought that vaping helped you break free from smoking.
That was the lie that Big Tobacco put out there. Okay. So what happened is we had a big generation that was heavy into cigarette smoke, and people had started passing away due to cancer or, other diseases caused by using tobacco products. So then they needed a new generation. They needed something different. So then we came out with the e-cigarette, and then they were telling people, oh, this will help you quit smoking. But in essence, it's got more chemicals, it has more nicotine, and there's all sorts of different things that happen with the I would say the chemical reaction of the smoke and the oils and all of that, so it's more addicting than a regular cigarette is.
So you mentioned earlier about parents suddenly finding something that looks like a highlighter they realized it was not, and they don't know what to do. What would be your best advice to those parents who have no idea where to go from that point?
I think open dialogue is very, very important. Raising 3 children, I think conversation is important. I think your initial response, I know I raised kids and there were lots of surprising and shocking things, and sometimes you're like flustered or upset or angry or, blaming yourself. I think the first thing is just to take a really deep breath and just kind of like gather yourself and sit down and say, hey, I found this in your room. Do you want to talk about it? I think initially some students are going to be upset or embarrassed or angry, and other students might want that opportunity to come clean, because I think what I've learned in the last 3 years of working with students in the tobacco program is that they want to quit. They know that it's affecting them, but they don't know how to. And if you're keeping a secret, how do you go and tell your parents, hey, I've been vaping for the last year, and I don't know how to quit? That's a really hard conversation, I think, to have. But if you open up the door for your student to have honest conversation, I believe that your student would be receptive. And if they're not, just be ever present. And, we're all trying to do our best. And life's hard right now. Mm-hmm. And I always say, parents, Plumas County, Sierra County, Lassen County, it's expensive to live up here. A lot of parents have 1, 2, 3 jobs. People are more busy than ever. But I think we just need to try to connect with our students, try to have those open conversations, and, go back. If they don't admit to it, if they don't want to talk about it, then maybe revisit it at another time. On a few occasions, I've had conversations with parents and students who have been vaping for several years, and at that point, I have recommended that perhaps they go take their child to their provider, so that the provider, their medical provider, can be involved in the process, because it's not easy. If an adult's trying to quit smoking, any adult's going to tell you it's a hard task to do. So can you imagine a teenager?
Right. So are there telltale signs? So you say you don't see that you don't catch the device.
Right.
But are there signs that your child might be vaping?
So usually a flavored vape smells like a scented candle, or a fresh body spray, or like a lip gloss. We were in school not too long ago, and the coach said to me, did you smell that? And I did. I thought it was like a Lip Smackers lip gloss, but that was actually a student vaping like behind us. And I was like, oh my gosh, So that moodiness, vaping, using tobacco products actually cause you to be more depressed, more anxious, more moody. The brain is not formed in a youth until their early 20s, and so it actually starts to affect memory, and it can affect sleep. A cough, a consistent cough out of nowhere. So those are just signs for people. And, unfortunately, the use of tobacco products and vaping, especially, in our junior high and senior high age group, it's very high.
Okay. We only have about a minute left. Is there anything you would like to share with us before we let you go?
Sure. I just want to say that we are at Public Health in Plumas County, and we have a website, so you can go to our website for resources and contact information. And then Kick It California is also a free service that they have in the state of California. So it's www.kickitcali.org. So, and that website information is also on the Plumas County website, and we're here to help. We have free quit kits, and we're here to, assist with whatever we can do.
Okay. Regina Martinez from the Plumas County Public Health Agency, and the program you're here to talk about was the Tobacco Use Reduction Program.
Thank you.
Good luck. And, thank you for keeping a good eye on our youngsters and helping us educate ourselves so we can help our youngsters.
Thank you.
All right.
Sounds like a great program.
It does. Drive carefully.
Thank you.
All right. And the time is almost 5:30. We'll be right back right after this.
No one can help you get in shape and stay in shape better than New Image Racquetball and Fitness Center. From their awesome aerobic classes to the most complete free weights in Nautilus area in Northeast California, New Image Fitness is here to support your commitment to good health.
Carlson's Tire Pros offers a straightforward approach to tire and auto service that always includes nationwide warranties with a hassle-free customer experience. Carlson's Tire Pros has a tire to fit any need, guaranteed. On Riverside Drive, Susanville, or visit them online at carlsonstirepros.com.
Lassen High continues to excel on and off the field, including their exciting partnership with Lassen Community College, where their students take part in the new registered nursing and automotive programs. Lassen High School continues to be a top-performing school as measured by the state in testing and options for their students.
The time right now is 5:30. Here is Andrea with our local news.
With your local and regional news from the Sierra Radio Network newsroom. Here's what's happening. Local authorities are issuing an urgent warning of an ongoing phone scam involving jury duty summons. Scammers impersonating law enforcement officials, including using the names of local judges and the Susanville Police Department, are calling, claiming that you failed to report for jury duty and there's a warrant for your arrest. The callers are then demanding immediate payment of a fine, typically requesting payment through prepaid gift cards or debit cards to resolve the alleged warrant. Detective Warner of the Susanville Police Department says key points of the scan involve scammers using official-sounding titles and even providing fake case numbers and police department contact details to appear legitimate. The demanded fines are often requested again in the form of untraceable methods, and you are pressured to act quickly to avoid arrest using fear and urgency to compel you to comply. The Susanville Police Department has confirmed that they are in no way connected to these calls. The department stresses that legal matters involving warrants are handled in person at the courthouse, not over the phone. Warner does provide some tips on how you can respond. You are not to engage with a caller or provide any personal, financial, or sensitive information. You are to report the incident immediately to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, and in the event that your personal details like Social Security number has been shared, to reach out to the Social Security office immediately. Authorities are stressing that any legitimate contact from the Lassen County Superior Court regarding jury service will only be made through official mail, not by phone calls. The community is urged to stay vigilant and inform others about these fraudulent activities to prevent further victimization. High Desert State Prison is on limited movement after an inmate was fatally stabbed. CDCR officials are investigating the death of Scott Cook as a homicide. The incident occurred Friday, May 3rd, around 9:30 a.m. when two other incarcerated persons, John Patch and Zachary Harris, allegedly attacked Cook with two inmate-manufactured weapons. Despite immediate staff response, Cook was pronounced dead at 9:53. No staff or additional incarcerated people were injured. Prison officials have placed inmates Zachary Harris and John Patch in restricted housing following this incident, while an investigation is being conducted by High Desert's Investigative Services Unit and the Lassen County District Attorney's Office. The facility has been placed under limited movement to help facilitate this. Additionally, the Office of the Inspector General has been notified, and the Lassen County coroner is set to determine the official cause of Cook's death. Cook was serving a life sentence without parole for first-degree murder and kidnapping, among other charges, since November of 2000. Both Harris and Patch do have extensive criminal records as well. Harris has been incarcerated since July of 2021, serving a 24-year sentence for second-degree attempted murder, among other crimes. Patch, who has been in prison since December of 2022, is serving a life sentence with the possibility of parole for second-degree murder. After an unexpected hiatus due to the devastating Dixie Fire in 2021, the Lassen County Arts Council has announced a revival of the Wood and Iron Show. Originally opened for a brief week during the summer of 2021, the show faced an immediate shutdown when the historic wildfire swept near Susanville, impacting air quality and triggering evacuation zones, including the Art Council's own location in uptown Susanville. Faced with these challenges, the council made the tough decision to close the show and safeguard their artworks by relocating them to a secure location. Unfortunately, conditions did not permit the show to reopen that year, leaving both artists and the community disappointed. Now, 3 years later, the council is bringing back the Wood and Iron Show with renewed vigor. This second iteration not only offers a platform for returning artists to finally share their work with the community, but also introduces new pieces and talents, enriching the cultural landscape of Lassen County. The Arts Council is enthusiastic about providing artists the exposure and community interaction they missed in the initial run. celebrating both the resilience of the arts community and the introduction of fresh creativity in this unique show, debuting May 16th. Letter carriers across the nation will be engaging in the annual Stamp Out Hunger food drive this Saturday, May 11th, collecting non-perishable food donations along their routes. Coordinated by the National Association of Letter Carriers, this initiative is the largest one-day food drive in the U.S. You are encouraged to leave food donations by your mailboxes before your post person delivers your mail this Saturday. If you do not have a mailbox or live in the areas including Standish, Litchfield, Westwood, or anywhere within the outskirts of the county, you can still participate by dropping off your donations at the Main Street Post Office in Uptown Susanville or the Eagle Station on Johnsonville Road before this Saturday. This is the program's 30th year running, occurring every second Saturday of May. Since its inception, the drive has delivered more than 1.82 billion pounds of food. Studies do show that 1 in 10 people face hunger every day. Your donations of non-perishable food will be delivered to local food banks, aiding in the community-wide effort to alleviate hunger. And that is what's happening today from your only local news radio, keeping you informed and connected to your communities throughout Lassen, Plumas, and Sierra counties.
Thank you, Andrea. The time right now is 5:36. Now here's the latest from Wall Street.
This is Angie Crowley, financial advisor with Edward Jones, located at 515 Ash Street, Suite B in Susanville, bringing you the daily financial market report. Equity markets closed mostly higher on Tuesday, with the S&P 500 posting a daily gain for the fourth consecutive day. Leadership was balanced, with most sectors of the S&P 500 finishing higher, led by real estate and utilities, which both gained over 1%. Overseas, Asian markets were mixed overnight, while European markets closed mostly higher in response to the better-than-expected retail sales data from the Eurozone. Treasury yields finished lower once again, with the 10-year yield down to around 4.45%. The 10-year yield has pulled back meaningfully from its recent peak of 4.7% in response to last Friday's softer-than-expected jobs report and commentary from Fed officials that signaled that additional rate hikes are unlikely. On the corporate front, shares of Disney were under pressure, declining roughly 9% after the company reported earnings that exceeded expectations but issued guidance below consensus estimates. Today, the Dow Jones was up 32 points and closed at 38,884. The Nasdaq was down 17 points and closed at 16,333. And the S&P 500 was up 7 points and closed at 5,188. In the bond market, the 10-year Treasury yield is trading at 4.45%. And in commodity markets, the price of crude oil was flat today, closing at $78.46 a barrel. The spot price of gold was down by $8.20 and closed at $2,323. This is Angie Crowley, financial advisor with Edward Jones, located at 515 Ash Street, Suite B in Susanville. Member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. If you would like additional information or you have questions about your investments, give me a call at 530-257-2803.
Northeast California weather.
All right, the time right now is 5:38, which means it's time to take a look at your 3-day Northeastern California weather. It is 55 degrees outside the Sierra Radio Network studios, and we're looking at a low tonight right around 31 degrees with some clear skies. And we're continuing this warming trend. Tomorrow we're looking at sunny skies with a high right around 62, a low right around 38. Breezy with those gusts having the potential of reaching 25 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 70, a low right around 44. Again, breezy with those gusts having the potential of reaching 30 miles per hour. Friday, sunny with a highs in the mid-70s, and the lows are expected to be in the upper 40s, so it's shaping out to be like we're entering into a really nice weekend, Haley.
Yes,
really nice.
Really nice.
All your weather updates are found on our website or our app, SierraDailyNews.com. Do you have plans for the weekend?
Just catching up on schoolwork and hanging out with my friends.
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess cool, yeah.
Just hanging out. Okay, we're going to do something first, but I'm going to ask you, what do you guys do when you all just hang out? Okay, but hold on. Think about it. Because first we got to do something else. Okay. we're going to qualify some listeners for our vacation getaway to Cabo San Lucas aboard the Princess Cruise Line. So we got to qualify them first so that they can get in the box, so they can have a running for this drawing that's going to be happening on May 31st during the morning show with Chris and Andrea. So we got 2 names.
Yes.
All right. What are those names?
We have Renee Parker from Susanville, and we have Madeline Witt from Susanville.
All right. Where did they register?
They both registered at Red Hut Pizza.
Oh, I'm craving pizza.
Love pizza.
We are pizza people, huh?
Pizza people.
What's your favorite pizza?
Probably just like plain Jane pepperoni.
I'm there with you. Anyway, we digress. Anyway, we're qualifying listeners. So what were those names again?
We have Renee Parker and Madeline Witt.
All right, give us a call, 257-8255, so we can get you in the box, get you a chance at winning a cruise to Cabo. 257-8255. You have 12 minutes, 40 seconds starting right now. Sometimes we whisper, Haley.
Okay.
How you doing over there?
Good, how are you?
It's kind of weird, though.
It is kind of weird.
What'd you do today? I whispered on the mic with some old dude. I don't know. It's kind of creepy. All right. So we're going back. What do you like to do with your friends? Oh, you said hanging out. Where do you hang out?
We hang out either at each other's houses or we like to go on drives. You know, that's a big thing here in Susanville, going on drives. That's
cool.
Yeah.
Where do you drive to?
You know, funny enough, a lot of times, like, want to go to Safeway?
That's your drive?
Yeah, that's a drive. Or sometimes
from like what? Where are you coming from? Wendell?
No,
just from like down the block? That's your drive?
Yeah.
It takes you like 10 minutes.
You go to Safeway, you walk around, go to Marshall's, walk around.
Oh, you kind of do the shopping thing.
The shopping thing, yeah.
You don't really go, because I'm an in and out guy. Like it's a military operation. I go in, get what I want, and I come out. You say?
Oh, no, I don't usually even know what I want when I go in. So it's like,
that's
they're
dangerous,
going to tell me. The store's going to tell me what I want.
You're going to go in and feel the vibe.
Yeah.
Of like the chicken or like the what? What was your favorite snack food?
Snack food? This is funny. I love Lunchables.
Lunchables?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm because both me and your mom are on diets. And my kryptonite is original not Oreo cookies, Chips Ahoy cookies.
Really?
Yeah, there's kryptonite. I can't resist. Can't resist. So anyway, I wanted to bring you on because last night we had a couple of girls, young ladies, I should say, who one was 15, one was 16. We talked about growing up in this era because, you know, us adults, we don't know how it feels to be you all, you know, and it's different. You guys are growing up in a different world that I was in, you know. Our idea of fun was putting making dirt clods so we could have dirt clod fights later and getting dirt in our eye and wondering why our eyes are all scratched and messed up. But anyway, you guys have a whole new playing field of worries and stress. And so I kind of put some things together that I kind of looked up. Now, you can kind of say, yeah, that might be a worry. That's not. Here's what we're really worried about. And so you can kind of comment on some of these things. And so this article that says the challenges of your 20s, high expectations and uncertain independence. So not being able to, the challenges, it says here, the sense of being in limbo may be heightened for some young adults who continue to live at home. Living at home can have its benefits, such as saving money, which I moved out. I'm like, wow, paying rent sucks. And I moved back. But it can also create increased anxiety and stress levels and decreased self-esteem and also it also affects your ability that, you know, your confidence of being able to take care of yourself. You say?
I definitely think that can be a challenge. I decided to live at home while I went to college. And I also moved out a few times and moved back in because I realized rent is expensive.
It sucks. Yeah.
But I definitely think there is like a sense of anxiety behind it because tend to be younger, you look at where every other person is and, you know, everyone's in different places, whether they're getting married or have their own apartment or, you know, but what I've learned to calm that sense of anxiety is that there's no timeline of what these things you're supposed to meet by this certain age, and that it's okay to be where you're at. So that's kind of how I've calmed myself down about that. It's okay to live at home.
It's okay to be where you are.
Be where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay. Now you mentioned getting married. Did you at one time feel stressed? Like, okay, now I'm graduated from high school. I'm supposed to be looking for that man.
Yeah. I don't think I felt like a pressure for that. I think that maybe in the beginning I did, like, it's like where you're supposed to be, you know, which I think might have been true back a long time ago, but I think now it's more common to get married later in life.
I was just going to ask you that because, for your age, there's not so much pressure to get married. Instead, you can live with each other. That's kind of the new norm. Is that correct? Or no?
Yeah, I would say that's the new norm, probably. Yeah. I think I see that a lot more often than people getting married.
Okay. Is there a hesitancy for people to get married? Like, you know what? That's like a commitment kind of thing. I
think for some, for sure. I think this generation is really, in my opinion, social media based, and that attitude is put out a lot. That getting married young is wrong, or that you need to have experiences to get married, and I don't think that's necessarily true. I just think everyone's story is different, and you have to do what's right, is what's best for you.
Okay.
And what's best for me right now is like kicking at my mom's house when I finish college.
No man needed, right?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you are you currently engaged in a relationship?
No, not right now.
Okay. So, man, just so you know.
No, just Aaron.
You can, if you want to talk to her, you can call. I won't do that to you. Okay. So it also talks about reducing, the economy. It talks about the economy and how challenging it is to keep up with this high prices, the cost of living, and again causes anxiety and makes you feel like you can't take care of yourself. And that's kind of based on what you kind of already answered that.
Yeah.
But
I definitely feel that stress. For a while, I didn't have like a working vehicle, but I needed to work in order to buy a vehicle. And I was like, how am I supposed to work to buy a vehicle if I can't get to work? And so
there's that.
So it's all about, I think I've had to really learn how to balance. And like when I do have when my finances are more balanced, I tend to feel less stressed. And but it's almost hard to balance them when it seems like the prices are going up every day. Like the gas is a huge thing. Like, yeah,
it's crazy, especially now we're entering summer.
You know, I think when I was young and I'd watch my parents get gas, I just assumed it was free. I don't know what I thought. I definitely didn't think
this. You put it in, right? They wave a card in front of it. And or they come out and all of a sudden there's gas.
What a cool mechanism.
We go place it for free. So I have another article that mentions some things. I crossed some things out that were duplicated. So another thing that they talk about is academic pressure. Do you feel pressure that you have to go to school?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you?
I do. And
because if you don't go to school, you're not going to succeed. Is that how you feel?
I do, yeah. I feel a lot of times we were taught in school that high school, college, and it has to be linear, and in order to gain success, you have to go to college. But what I've learned is that that's not necessarily true, and that everyone's journey is so different, and success doesn't automatically equal college.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Or college doesn't equal success.
Yeah.
That's what I got you. Yeah. So, did you feel were the pressure to get good grades too much on you as well?
In high school, yes.
Okay.
I felt a lot.
Because you look like a straight A student kind of person.
I do have straight A's, yeah.
I knew it. You smart people. You just have that smart person look to you.
My parents were a little more stern on it growing up, and so, but it taught me that way of always being like that. So I kind of clung to that. And so now in college, I've put the pressure on myself, because now if I get good grades or get bad grades, it reflects me, like on me. It's not on my parents or like, you know. So, well, I guess where it always would have been on me, but even more now than ever that it equals me getting a job soon. You know, like I need to do good to get into the next big thing, and always leading to something else.
Do you also feel pressure of having a life plan?
I did, and I expressed it a lot. I'm like, I'm so scared. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Everyone else already knows. But like I had said, like I think everything, everyone's life looks so different, and I am just trying to try different things out and see what works for me, because I think that I changed my major about 4 times before I figured it out.
But some people do.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And that's what they expressed to us, that's okay, and you can change it. Some people change it 20 times, and I find that I've liked learning about multiple different things, and it's helped me kind of navigate what I want to do. with my life, more by trying different things.
That's true. You get into to college, you know, you go through high school and you think you know what you kind of do because you saw this movie like Top Gun. Now you want to be a naval pilot.
Yeah.
But then you go to school, you're like, hey, you know what? My son did this. He was going to be a aeronautical engineer. I'm like, well, what's that? And he was like, well, just think rocket science. I'm like, okay, I don't need to worry about that kid. He's going to be fine. He's going to be just fine. But he wanted to kind of alleviate some of his school bills, tuition with tutoring. So he started tutoring and then decided he wanted to become a teacher.
Oh.
So he's like, hey, Dad, I think I want to be a teacher. I'm like, okay, rehuddle, because they're broke all the time, so we got to figure this out. I don't need to worry about you now. But he actually ended up graduating with 0 debt. So, because I told him, like, hey, you're going to be hurting for cash, and once you graduate, you're going to have to pay those debts back. So take as few loans as possible. And he did. He did just that. And I also want to talk, you do have an older sister, correct?
Yes.
Did you guys go to school together at the same time, or was she much older than you?
No, she was 2 years older than me, so
2 years?
Briefly we did,
Briefly.
Yeah.
So my oldest boy is pretty darn brainy. He's a brain. But so when he went to school, things were just a breeze for him. I wouldn't say he had a photographic memory, but it was pretty darn close to that. Now, my siblings, or his siblings underneath him, had to feel like they had to compete with him who didn't have his kind of smarts. Did you feel that kind of competitive, like you had to keep up with your older sister at all?
No, because I think I had to compete with her in the sense that I always thought she was super cool. And I was kind of like a nerd. And so I thought she was so cool. So
you look like you've been in the cool kids crowd.
Oh, well, when I, like, back in that time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So you don't have that nerd look to you.
No.
Okay. All right. So you took your sister's, I don't know.
She's very, street smart. Like, she's very street smart. And I think she's book smart, too.
Okay.
But I think she was older, and I kind of was always looking to her for the cool aspect.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put my glasses. All right. So how, now that you're out of high school, do you still feel peer pressure from your friends?
Sometimes, but I always like to say I'm very set in who I am.
You are. Good for you.
And I don't feel like very steer hard from that.
Do you feel like that's still, though, an issue in junior college, college, that there's a lot of peer pressure to be something that you may not be?
Actually, particularly at my college, I really feel like I see a lot more expression of who people are and less, like, cliquey, and it's been a very good experience because it's got to be, like, more open, and I had a very different experience in high school. Less social pressure in high school.
It also says here about body images. Now, obviously, you don't have those issues, but do other people do? Well, I mean, does that stress you out that you may not have those images or might fall out of that look?
I definitely think it's an issue. I think everyone struggles with it in a different way, and there's a lot of pressure by society to look a certain way.
I think, and it's on here for that, but I think that's not just a problem with younger people. I think it's an issue for people even my age.
Oh, yeah.
Again, we were talking earlier that, you know, I take pictures of your mom, I take pictures of my wife, and I always have to get permission. I'm like, hey, can I post this? And then, because they're very interested in how they look. And you say?
I'd say so, yes. Yes. I would like to see the picture before it's posted as well. And I think it's very common I don't think there's an age limit or a start. Right. I think it's very much out there in the world that there's a certain way to see yourself, and that can feel like a lot of pressure.
Okay. Now, another thing on this list is relationship challenges. So, I mean, it's a different. I was just talking to my wife about this the other day. We were so happy that we did not grow up in the app world where people are swiping right or I don't know. Well, they swipe something, swipe or no swiping. I don't know, but it's a different world, and we're kind of happy that we met in the real world as opposed to online. And we do know people. My daughter met her husband online, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's just a different world, and we just kind of like things natural. You say?
I'd say I prefer the natural too, but I do think the apps play a big part nowadays.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, I would say sometimes it does work out. Like my aunt and uncle, they met on a dating website, and they're like one of the greatest couples I know. Okay. So I do think it works out for some, for sure.
Okay.
But sometimes natural would be cooler, but sometimes natural can be hard because, especially when you live in a small town.
Okay. Now, what would you say is the most common misperceived idea or thing about your what are you, Generation Z or Millennial?
I'm a Generation Z.
You're Gen Z.
Yeah.
So what would you say from us? I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen X. So for us Gen X kind of people, what would you say is the most common misperceived perception of the Gen Zers?
That's a hard one.
Because I can write down a list of all the things we have problems with about you guys.
Do you have like an idea of like what a notion you would have about our?
Now I'm not you, because I've seen you. You're a hard worker. But typically, I see kids about your age who just have no work ethic.
I do think that's more common now. I have seen that a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it definitely depends too on the kind of parents someone has to, and if they're pushing for that work to be there, or enabling. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I made my kids work. They complain about it to this day. My friend said you abused us. Because one day I didn't have anything for them to do, so I made them go get scissors and they trimmed the grass, around the edges instead of, weed eater. But they had to stay busy. They were sitting around too much.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, you guys got to get off your butts. So I put them to work. All right. So your mom's been teaching me slang. And the kids came in, they taught me some more slang. And they taught me Giant.
What are you saying?
Gant.
Gyat.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gyat. You're familiar with that word?
Yeah.
You think that's a fairly new word?
I'd say fairly new, yeah.
Fairly new?
Yeah.
Okay. What new words are out there that we could put on the radio that you could teach me?
It's so funny. I just watched a video about this because some of it I don't even understand. I think I'm falling out of the generation a little bit. Mm-hmm. But there's like a few sayings I learned. Like there's like this one that's like, oh, that's not, and so it's oh, that's not. And basically, if someone said that, it's saying like, oh, that's controversial. Like if someone were, if you were to say something controversial, I would say, oh, that's not, and that's all I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's like very common now.
That's not.
Yeah. Oh, that's not.
That's not. Okay, so use that and explain that term, because I'm not catching on just yet. Because I'm a little slow, Haley. Work with me here.
So
I'm an old man. So if I said something that wasn't true, you're saying no. That's basically saying no, that's not true.
Oh, or like, oh, that's not it.
Okay, that's not true, or that's not it.
Yeah, like, oh, that's not okay, kind of thing. Oh, like, oh, that's not okay.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you use it for people like, dude, I think that dude over there is hot, and you'd be like, oh, that's not.
I mean, no, I don't think so.
He's like, check out that dude's gaunt or whatever. Oh. You're like, let's not.
I mean, I guess you could. I guess there's no like boundaries to what. It's basically just like if something's not okay, like someone's saying something controversial and that's like kind of crossing a line, you'd be like, oh, that's not.
That's not.
Yeah.
I learned a new one. Did you have fun today?
Yes, I did. Thank you for having me.
I love having you.
Oh, thank you.
You're all kinds of fun.
Oh, thank you. I'm the younger, cooler version of Amanda. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm gonna remain non-biased in that one. But last time Dresden came on, he spilled all kinds of beans about your mom. So let's see, what do you have? Don't do it.
She snores.
She snores. Interesting. All right, now we know. Now all of Susanville knows Amanda snores.
Here you go, Susanville. Amanda snores.
She's probably listening right now like, don't worry, she's not listening. She doesn't listen to me. There's so many times I've told her something, and then later she's like, yeah, so-and-so told me this, and I'm going to listen. I'm like, I told you that like a week ago. So I don't know. There's all that. So, do you want to go out the way we usually go out, or you want to go out cheesy?
You pick.
I like to go out cheesy.
Okay, we'll go out cheesy.
It's just cheesy.
Okay.
All right? It's just cheese. That's all. Is it going to work? Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, I know how it's going to work. Watch this. It's going to work right here. Right now. Oh, my goodness. I'm messing everything up, Haley. Bam! Here we go.
Now
I had the time of my life. That's not on a romantic level, so don't get all grossed out. No. But I had the time of my life, Haley. That was pretty cool. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
See, this song's going to be stuck in your head all day long.
Yeah, I'm going to go listen to it after this.
Do you know what movie this is from?
I can't remember.
Dirty Dancing. You got to go watch it. It's a classic.
Okay.
As a filmmaker,
I've only seen the newer one.
No. Don't waste your time with that.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm Aaron.
I'm Haley.
And as Amanda would say, we are out.